Jonathan Antoine's life took a dramatic and unexpected turn when, in 2012, he auditioned for Britain's Got Talent, alongside Charlotte Giaconelli, forming the duo Jonathan and Charlotte. Their audition is still remembered by fans as one of the most powerful and emotional performances in the show's history. Jonathan's booming baritone paired perfectly with Charlotte's delicate soprano, creating a sound that was both unique and mesmerizing. When they began to sing The Prayer, the judges and the audience were visibly moved. Simon Cowell described their performance as one of the best he had ever seen on the show. Their journey on BGT was marked by rapid success. Week after week, they impressed the judges and viewers, eventually making it all the way to the final round, where they finished as runners-up. This exposure brought them into the spotlight overnight. They were no longer just local talents, but national sensations, adored by millions. Their debut album, Together, capitalized on this momentum, topping classical charts and proving that classical crossover music had a massive audience waiting to be tapped. The album was filled with beautiful renditions of classical and pop classics, showcasing Jonathan's incredible vocal control and Charlotte's angelic voice. Concerts, media appearances, and public engagements followed, creating a whirlwind of activity for the young singers. Yet, behind the scenes, this rapid rise also brought intense pressure. Suddenly, Jonathan found himself thrust into a world where every performance was scrutinized, and expectations were sky high. While the success was thrilling, it came with its own set of challenges, from grueling schedules to the challenge of maintaining vocal health under constant demand. Despite this, Jonathan remained focused on the music, determined to make the most of the opportunity and stay true to his artistic vision. This period marked the peak of Jonathan's rise, a shining moment of achievement that would forever define the beginning of his career. Jonathan Antoine was born on January 13, 1995, in the county of Essex, England, into a loving and supportive family. From a very early age, music was more than just a pastime for Jonathan. It was a calling that shaped his world. Even as a child, Jonathan had a voice that stood out distinctly. His deep, rich baritone was unusual for someone so young, and it captivated family members, teachers, and friends alike. His parents recognized his extraordinary gift and made sure he had every opportunity to develop it. They encouraged Jonathan to join local choirs, attend singing lessons, and participate in school music programs where his talent could grow. At school, he quickly became known for his remarkable vocal ability, often chosen for solo parts in school concerts and church services. Beyond formal training, Jonathan's love for music was deeply personal. He was drawn to classical and operatic music, inspired by greats like Luciano Pavarotti and Andrea Bocelli, dreaming of one day following in their footsteps. But like many young prodigies, Jonathan's journey was not without obstacles. Growing up, he had to navigate the typical challenges of adolescence: self-doubt, uncertainty about his future, and the struggle to balance school with his passion. However, his voice was a constant beacon of hope and motivation. It gave him purpose and a sense of identity. He spent countless hours practicing, learning breath control, and perfecting his technique. This early foundation was critical. It was not just about natural talent, but the discipline and dedication Jonathan showed that would prepare him for the larger stages ahead. His passion for music was becoming an inseparable part of who he was, setting the stage for a journey that would take him from a small-town boy to the bright lights of national television. The early years planted the seed of a dream that Jonathan was determined to nurture, no matter the challenges that lay ahead. With their rising fame came an increasing weight of pressure that few young stars are prepared to handle. As Jonathan and Charlotte's popularity soared, the demands on their time and energy grew exponentially. Their busy schedules included intense rehearsals, constant media interviews, live performances, and tours that took them across the UK and beyond. The young duo faced the immense challenge of balancing their personal lives with the relentless pace of their careers. But more than the external pressures, internal differences began to surface between Jonathan and Charlotte. While they had found great success together, their artistic visions were not entirely aligned. Jonathan's passion was deeply rooted in classical and operatic singing, and he dreamed of a career focused on serious classical repertoire. Charlotte, on the other hand, was more inclined toward lighter, pop-influenced music and performance styles. These contrasting goals created tension, especially as the public and industry pushed them to maintain a cohesive brand. Behind the smiles and shared performances, cracks started to appear. The constant scrutiny from media and fans amplified these strains, making it harder for them to resolve their differences amicably. Eventually, after much consideration, the decision was made to part ways in 2014. For Jonathan, the split was a significant turning point. It was bittersweet. On one hand, the end of a successful partnership that had launched his career, and on the other, an opportunity to pursue a solo path more aligned with his artistic dreams. However, this new chapter was daunting. Jonathan now had to establish himself as an individual artist, build a new fan base, and navigate the music industry on his own. The pressures of fame, the breakup of a key partnership, and the uncertainty about the future created a storm of emotions, testing his resilience and dedication to music. Jonathan Antoine's solo career officially began after his split with Charlotte, marking both a new beginning and a significant challenge. His debut solo album, Believe, released in 2015, was a heartfelt declaration of his commitment to classical music. The album was a mix of operatic arias and classical crossover pieces, highlighting Jonathan's stunning vocal range and emotional expressiveness. Unlike his previous work with Charlotte, this album allowed Jonathan to present himself as a solo artist, showcasing his unique style and musical preferences. Critics praised the album for its sincerity and technical brilliance, and many fans welcomed Jonathan's dedication to the classical genre, appreciating his refusal to compromise his artistic integrity for commercial trends. To promote Believe, Jonathan embarked on tours across the UK and internationally, performing in renowned concert halls and theaters. These live performances were a testament to his vocal power and his ability to connect with audiences through raw emotion and passion. Despite this success, the transition to a solo career was not without its struggles. Jonathan had to overcome the challenge of building a solo identity after being so strongly associated with a duo. The music industry itself was also changing, with digital platforms and streaming services reshaping how artists reached audiences and made a living. Jonathan worked hard to adapt, engaging with fans through social media and participating in collaborations with other artists to expand his reach. Yet, the road was often lonely and uncertain. Financial pressures, critical comparisons to his former partnership, and the demand to constantly prove himself weighed heavily on him. Still, Jonathan's commitment to his craft remained unwavering. His journey as a solo artist was about more than fame or money. It was about fulfilling his lifelong dream of singing the music he loved on his own terms. Behind Jonathan Antoine's impressive public success lay a series of deeply personal battles that rarely made it into the spotlight but profoundly shaped his life and career. From a young age, Jonathan faced the immense pressure of performing at an elite level while being constantly scrutinized by fans, critics, and the media. This relentless public attention brought with it a heavy weight of anxiety and stress, feelings that many people outside the entertainment world might never fully understand. Like countless young stars who suddenly find themselves thrust into fame, Jonathan wrestled with serious issues of self-confidence. Despite the powerful and polished performances he delivered on stage, beneath the surface he was often gripped by self-doubt and an overwhelming fear of failure. Touring life, which many view as glamorous and exciting, also carried its own isolating hardships. Being away from family, close friends, and the familiar comforts of home left Jonathan feeling lonely and emotionally drained. The constant cycle of travel, performances, interviews, and rehearsals left little time for rest or personal reflection, which only added to his emotional burden. In candid interviews, Jonathan has shared how these moments of vulnerability were some of the most difficult to endure. He openly admitted that despite the confident image he projected on stage, there were times when insecurity took over, making him question whether he was truly living up to the high expectations set by himself and others. These honest revelations from Jonathan helped fans see beyond the polished public persona to the real person beneath. His willingness to talk openly about struggles with anxiety and mental health humanized him in a way that resonated deeply with many people around the world. It created a stronger bond between him and his audience, showing that even those who seem to have it all can face challenges and fears. The music industry, often viewed through a glamorous lens, can be brutally demanding and unforgiving. Jonathan has described how exhausting it could be to constantly meet those lofty standards, to maintain a flawless image, and to perform without faltering. At times, the mental and emotional toll led him to question the path he was on, wondering if the sacrifices, pressures, and loneliness were truly worth the cost. Yet, despite these challenges, Jonathan's love for music remained a guiding light and a vital source of comfort. Music became more than just a career, it was a refuge, a way to heal, express himself, and find peace amidst the chaos. Writing songs, practicing for hours, and performing were not only professional responsibilities, but also deeply therapeutic acts that helped him process his emotions and regain strength. His openness about his struggles with mental health has been a beacon of hope for many who face similar issues. By sharing his story, Jonathan has contributed to breaking down the stigma that often surrounds mental illness, encouraging others to seek help, speak openly, and understand that they are not alone. Jonathan Antoine's journey is a powerful reminder that success often comes with hidden costs and personal sacrifices. It also shows that true strength does not come from hiding vulnerabilities, but from embracing them, being honest, and continuing to pursue one's dreams despite the hardships. His story inspires others to find courage in their own struggles, and to realize that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a form of resilience. As the years passed, Jonathan Antoine found himself confronting the inevitable and often unpredictable shifts that come with changes in public taste and the evolving nature of the music industry itself. The initial wave of excitement and enthusiasm that surrounded classical crossover music, which had surged with great momentum during the early 2010s, gradually began to diminish. New genres, fresh faces, and innovative sounds started to capture the public's attention, shifting the spotlight away from the more traditional classical crossover style that had initially brought Jonathan to fame. Although his voice remained as impressive and powerful as ever, and his dedication to his craft unwavering, maintaining a firm foothold in an increasingly competitive and fast-changing industry became a daunting and complex challenge. The music market underwent rapid and profound transformations, fueled by the rise of digital streaming platforms that fundamentally altered how people discovered and consumed music. Social media influencers and viral hits began to dominate charts and playlists, setting new standards for success that often favored catchy, short-form content over the rich, nuanced performances characteristic of classical music. Genres like pop, hip-hop, and electronic dance music grew exponentially in popularity, catering to younger, digitally savvy audiences who valued immediacy, trendiness, and high-energy performances. In this shifting landscape, classical music and crossover genres struggled to compete for attention and relevance, as their more timeless and contemplative qualities seemed less aligned with the fast-paced, constantly evolving tastes of the modern listener. Jonathan found himself navigating this new musical terrain where traditional measures of success, such as album sales, radio play, and concert tours, no longer guaranteed visibility or financial stability. To remain relevant and connect with a wider audience, he had to broaden his approach and explore new ways of reaching listeners. This included increasing his presence on social media platforms, engaging more directly and frequently with fans, and experimenting with collaborations across different musical styles and with diverse artists. He also needed to adapt to contemporary marketing techniques, such as creating visually appealing content, leveraging influencer partnerships, and tailoring his releases to fit the habits of streaming service users. However, these necessary changes sometimes clashed with Jonathan's deeply held artistic values and his passion for classical music. The tension between commercial necessity and personal integrity was palpable. Balancing the demands of an evolving market with a commitment to the purity and depth of his art was an ongoing struggle. Public attention became more fragmented as fans scattered across a multitude of platforms, niches, and subcultures, making it harder to maintain a unified and engaged audience base. Despite these challenges, Jonathan continued to perform and record with dedication and grace. He remained committed to his art, always striving to honor the classical traditions that had shaped him, even as he acknowledged that sustaining a long-term career in the 21st century music industry required a blend of flexibility, innovation, and openness to change. His journey is emblematic of the broader struggle faced by many classical artists today, artists who must continually reinvent themselves and their approach to connect with contemporary audiences, while holding fast to the timeless beauty and emotional power of their craft. Jonathan Antoine's journey through fame, artistic exploration, and personal growth is a deeply compelling story, marked by both dazzling successes and profound challenges. Born and raised in the quiet town of Essex, Jonathan's early years were shaped by a passion for music that seemed almost destined. From a young age, he displayed a remarkable vocal talent, one that would eventually lead him to the grand national stage of Britain's Got Talent, where he captured the hearts of millions. His rise to fame was nothing short of meteoric, as audiences were captivated by his rich, powerful voice and his ability to bring classical music to a new generation. Many experts and fans alike believe that Jonathan's voice had the potential to change the classical music scene forever, bridging the gap between traditional opera and contemporary appeal. However, with this rapid ascent came a set of challenges that often accompany sudden success. The intense spotlight brought with it the heavy burden of expectations, not only from the public and media but from within himself. Being thrust into fame at such a young age meant Jonathan faced relentless scrutiny, with every performance analyzed and every personal detail dissected. This pressure sometimes made it difficult for him to carve out his own identity beyond the image that the public had constructed. Alongside this, Jonathan had to navigate the complexities of the music industry, which is often as unforgiving as it is glamorous. A pivotal moment in Jonathan's career was the end of his partnership with Charlotte Giaconelli, the duo with whom he first gained international recognition. The split was a significant emotional and professional blow. Together, they had built a unique chemistry and achieved incredible success, and parting ways meant stepping into the unknown for both artists. For Jonathan, this transition was not just about changing his musical direction, but also about rediscovering who he was as a solo artist. The end of the partnership, while difficult, became a turning point, a chance for Jonathan to explore new musical landscapes and express his personal artistry more freely. His solo work has since been a testament to his resilience and unwavering dedication. Critics have praised his albums for their authenticity and emotional depth, recognizing Jonathan's commitment to staying true to his craft rather than chasing fleeting trends. Fans, too, have remained loyal, admiring the honesty and passion that shine through his performances. Yet Jonathan's journey as a solo artist has not been without obstacles. The music industry is constantly evolving, with shifting public tastes and the rise of new platforms and genres. To remain relevant and true to his vision, Jonathan has had to adapt continually, often stepping outside his comfort zone and confronting uncertainty. On a personal level, Jonathan's path has been complicated by struggles with mental health and self-doubt, challenges that many artists face but few openly discuss. He has spoken candidly about the pressures of fame and the internal battles that come with living a life in the public eye. These experiences have added layers of depth to his music and have helped him connect with listeners on a more intimate level. Looking back on his career, Jonathan often highlights the importance of perseverance and the need to remain passionate even when the journey is tough. His story is a powerful reminder that raw talent, while essential, is not enough to guarantee success or happiness. It takes courage to face setbacks, adaptability to navigate change, and strength to keep moving forward despite obstacles. Through all the highs and lows, Jonathan Antoine remains a shining example of artistic integrity and hope. His journey inspires countless others to pursue their dreams with authenticity and determination, proving that with resilience and heart, it's possible to overcome challenges and create something truly meaningful. Now, Jonathan Antoine stands at a significant crossroads in his life and career, gazing toward the future with a powerful blend of hope, rich experience, and a renewed sense of purpose. His journey through the world of music has already carved an indelible mark on the classical crossover genre, a field that demands both technical mastery and emotional expression. While the road he has traveled hasn't always been smooth or predictable, it has been profoundly impactful, not only for him personally, but also for the many fans who have been touched by his extraordinary voice.